Hello and welcome to Anthem Daily, the show for serious creatives. My name is Gareth Hadfield, and I am coming to you from beautiful Cape Town. The sun is out, and we are ready to crack on with a beautiful week. Now, I want to ask you to do something unusual today. I want you to imagine an industry that works differently. Not differently in a minor, incremental, we've updated the process kind of way. Differently in the way that the internet changed retail, or the way streaming changed how we consume music, or the way digital photography changed what it means to take a picture. The kind of difference where afterwards it is genuinely difficult to remember how things were before. The entertainment industry has not had that moment yet. The fundamental structure of talent representation, the way an agent finds a performer, presents them to a buyer, negotiates a deal, takes a commission, has not changed in any meaningful way in several decades. There is more of it. It is faster in some ways, but the underlying logic is the same. Agent waits for the phone to ring, agent puts your name forward, buyer decides, agent takes their cut. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not criticizing agents. I have been and am an agent. It's a hard, important, relationship-driven job. I'm questioning the structure because the structure is the problem. You see, the structure assumes that the agent's job is to respond to what the market is already asking for, to fill existing briefs with available talent, to match supply with demand. And I've spent the last few years asking a different question. What if the agency's job is to create the demand? What if, instead of waiting for a brief and then finding a performer to fill it, you built something that identified talent, packaged it intelligently, and put it in front of buyers before the brief existed, so that the brief was written with that talent in mind? That is not a hypothetical. That is what Anthem is building. And today, I can tell you as much about it as I can without giving away the thing that makes it actually work, which, if you stay with me, you're going to find genuinely interesting. So, what is wrong with talent agencies right now? Let me be specific because I do not like vague criticism. Vague criticism is for people who do not actually understand the problem they're criticizing. There are three structural problems with traditional talent representation. Three things that have been true for decades and that the industry has largely accepted as inevitable. Problem one, the agency is reactive by design. The brief comes in, the agent looks at the roster, the agent submits names. This is the machine, and it runs in one direction, from buyer to agent to talent. The talent is always at the end of the chain, always the last to know, always waiting. And the cost of this is enormous. Talented performers sit on rosters for years and never get submitted because the briefs that arrive don't match how the agent has categorized them. They are in the wrong box, or there is no box for what they are. Or the agent simply has a more established name they always go to first. I've seen extraordinary talent, genuinely brilliant people, never work because their agent did not know how to articulate what made them special. Because articulating what makes a performer special is hard work, and the traditional agency model does not really have a system for it. Problem two, the industry does not know what it does not know. Buyers, that being casting directors, production companies, advertising agencies, brands, can only ask for what they can imagine. And what they can imagine is usually limited by what they've seen before, which creates a circular problem. The same kind of performers keep getting cast because the same kinds of performers keep being asked for. The breakthrough casting, the unexpected choice that the performer nobody saw coming, who turns out to be exactly right, usually happens by accident. Someone saw a show, someone got a recommendation at a dinner party, someone stumbled across a reel. Accident is not a business model. Accident is not a system. And it is certainly not a strategy that works for talent who are not lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. This is the part that makes me genuinely frustrated. Not the individuals in it. They're largely doing their best within a system that they have. The system. The system is broken. And broken systems require new thinking, not incremental improvement. Problem 3. The talent is then passive in their own career. Traditional representation creates a dynamic where the performer's job is to be available and ready when the agent calls, to keep their skills sharp, their look current, their headshot recent, and wait. Which is a perfectly reasonable instruction if the agent is relentlessly, strategically, proactively creating opportunities on your behalf, which, given the reactive nature of the system we just described, they largely cannot do. So you get talented, committed, serious performers, people who have trained for years, who have something genuine to offer, sitting in a kind of professional limbo, technically represented, practically invisible. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. The talent is not the problem. The system is failing the talent, and the talent has been told by agents, by drama schools, by the culture of the industry itself, that waiting is the professional thing to do, that patience is a virtue, that your moment will come. I do not accept this. And Anthem was built because I do not accept this. So what is Anthem building? I'm going to tell you the what. I'm not going to tell you the how. The how is our competitive advantage, and I say this with warmth and absolutely zero apology, keeping it. Here is the what. Anthem is building a system that looks at talent differently, not by type, not by the traditional industry categories of age range, look, accent, experience level, but by the potential, by market fit, by the combination of qualities that, when properly packaged and positioned, create opportunities that did not previously exist. We call this packaging. And packaging is not a new concept. The entertainment industry has always known that some combinations of talent are more powerful than individual performers. That's what a production company does. That's what a record label did in its golden era. That's what the great agents always understood intuitively. What we're doing is we're making it systematic, scalable, reproducible, and powered by tools that did not exist 5 years ago. I want to be careful here not to oversell this in a way that makes it sound like science fiction. It's not science fiction. It is applied intelligence, human and artificial, working together in a way that's not been tried in this specific context before, at least not yet. What this means in practice for the talent we work with is this. You do not sign with Anthem and wait for the phone to ring. You sign with Anthem, and we begin the work of understanding exactly what makes you exceptional, who needs that in the market, and how you get in front of them before they even know they need you. We do not manage your career. We build it actively, deliberately, with a strategy that is specific to you and not a template applied to everyone on the roster. Now, I'm aware that this sounds like every agency, what they say. I'm aware that the language of "we're different" is the most overused language in this industry, which is exactly why what we are building has to prove it rather than just say it. And it will. So the vision. Cape Town first, then South Africa, then, and I'm saying this because I believe it, not because it makes a good pitch, the world. not as an imperialist expansion, as a proof of concept that becomes a model, that what works here with the specific and extraordinary talent that this country produces can be adapted and applied in any market where talent is underrepresented and undervalued by the systems that are supposed to serve it. That's a very large ambition. I know it's a very large ambition. I've been in this industry for 40 years. I know exactly how large it is and exactly how many people will tell me quietly and loudly that it cannot be done. I find that motivating. I always have. I've been told this will not work by some very credible people. I'm looking forward to the moment I can introduce them to each other. The lab. This week's lab is different. I don't have an exercise for you. Instead, I have a question. What is the thing about your work, your craft, your field that you genuinely believe is being done wrong? Not imperfectly, wrong. The thing that you look at and think, the industry has accepted this as inevitable, and it doesn't have to be that way. Think about it seriously. Write it down. Because that frustration, that specific pointed, this should be different feeling, is the seed of everything worth building. It's why Anthem exists. And it might be why your next chapter exists too. Comment below if you're willing. I want to know what the people watching this see that needs to change. Genuinely. I read every one, and I take notes. Hot take. Ready for this one? AI will create more opportunities for performers than it destroys. I know. The discourse around AI and the entertainment industry tends to run along one particular line. AI is coming for your job. The actors, the writers, the voice artists, the background performers, all under threat from technology that can replicate human performance at a fraction of the cost. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that those concerns are baseless. They're not baseless. The technology is real. It is developing fast, and it will change the industry. This is simply true. But here is what the doom narrative consistently misses. Every major technology shift in the history of the entertainment industry has, net, created more work for performers than it destroyed. The arrival of cinema did not kill theatre. It created an entirely new form of performance that employed vastly more people. Television did not kill cinema. Streaming did not kill television. Each new technology expanded the ecosystem, created new formats, required new kinds of performance, generated demand that did not previously exist. The question is not whether AI will change what performers do. Of course it will. The question is, are you positioning yourself on the right side of that change? The performers who are going to thrive in the next decade are not the ones who are the most easily replicated by AI. They are the ones who are most distinctly, irreducibly human. The ones with a specific, idiosyncratic, unrepeatable quality. The ones who have done the work of understanding what makes them exceptional and who are making themselves visible on the basis of that. So my verdict on this hot take is it's true, with a caveat. It creates more opportunities for performers who understand what they are and who are visible enough to be found. For performers who are waiting to be discovered, AI does not help. But that is not an AI problem. That is a visibility problem. And we've been talking about that all week. Where do you land? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear the full debate. This week's feed question is, if the talent industry was rebuilt from scratch tomorrow, from zero, with no existing structures to work within, what is the one thing you would make sure it got right, the thing it currently gets wrong. Comment below. Seriously, this is not a throwaway question. I'm building something, and your answers matter to how I build it. Tomorrow. I've been thinking about tomorrow's episode for most of this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to do something I do not do often. I'm going to be personal. Actually personal. Not sharing a relatable struggle personal, but genuinely open about where this started, where it's been, and what it has cost. I'm going to tell you about the week that someone tried to take everything that I had built and what happened after. And I'm going to take you through a playlist that tells you more about who I am than anything I could say directly. It is the Friday episode, and if you've been building toward it all week, you should be. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell someone about the show. Tomorrow is worth sharing. So this is Anthem Daily. I'm Gareth Hadfield. Something big is coming, and I cannot wait to share it with you.